Welcome to the show. You have found Mason Street Retirement Insights, where every week we turn to our resident financial advisor, Sean Mason. He is the founder of Mason Street Wealth Management right here in Fresno. And he's been helping clients retire with confidence for years. He'd love to do the same for you. So he is here today to break down some of the biggest retirement topics for us. I heard this clip from Jeff Foxworthy this week, and I knew I wanted to play it on our show today. Jeff Foxworthy did not grow up dreaming of being a comedian. He actually was just kind of the funny guy at work, and his friends really pushed him to enter into this local stand-up contest. This was back in the 1980s, but I've got a clip from him I want us to listen to.
I was scared to death, had no idea what I was doing, but I knew a minute and a half into it, I'm like, this is what I was born to do. And I quit my job, and my mother's first question was, are you on the dope? I don't know what the dope is. And I'm like, no, I'm not on the dope. I said, Mom, I think I can do this. But 5 years later, I'm on Johnny Carson. That same mother said to me, you know, you wasted all those years at IBM.
It's so funny. But kind of the moral of the story, Sean, is that families don't fear the dream. His mom didn't fear his dream. She just kind of feared the unknown. So I'm curious, when you've got a client's family and they're skeptical about how their loved one's retirement is going to go if they're ready, how do you walk the whole family through this so that it does not feel like a leap of faith? How do those conversations go when it's more than just the retiree sitting in front of you? It's the whole family.
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's an interesting dynamic, but, you know, Jeff Foxworthy has been so much fun over the years. You know, he did a tour with, back in the day, Larry the Cable Guy.
No, of
Remember
course.
Get Her Done?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and Ron White with the Scotch and cigar routine. Those were good days. And, you know, it was kind of fun with those guys because you could actually have the whole family listen to it. It didn't get too X-rated, and they still found a way to be
Clean comedy
hilarious.
and still made you laugh.
Yeah,
That's a special
pretty
skill.
rare.
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't it?
I agree.
There's definitely a skill set there. But you're right, the family dynamic, it's so interesting, and at the same time, it's so important. I really try and help people when they come into the office and we're having the discussion that every decision that they're making is not only affecting them, but it's affecting their family, and not always have they thought about that. It can affect quality of life of them, but also their family members, whether it's their parents or whether it's their kids. And I find that the older that the couple is, you know, the younger couples, typically the kids aren't as involved. But usually it's the spouse that we really have to focus in on, because often one of them has been kind of saddled with taking care of all the finances, and the other one doesn't always have a clear understanding of what's going on. They just kind of
taken a back seat all through the years.
They have, and they've just kind of trusted, right?
Yeah, it's dangerous, though.
And so it's really important that they get a clear understanding of what's going on. I've got to actually hear from them. I've got to understand what they're concerned about, what's important to them, what they would like to accomplish. It's not just about investing. And so getting that kind of clarity from the spouse is so important, and then them becoming aware that, look, if something happens to your spouse, you're going to have to step in.
Right.
So the more you know now, the better off that you're going to be.
Yeah.
And then as the couple gets older, I find that, and their kids actually get older, I find that they kind of start trying to step in a little bit, kind of start wanting to get a better vision of what's going on. They recognize that maybe they're going to have to step in and help, either if it's just physically or hopefully not, but they might be concerned that they'd have to step in and help financially.
Yeah.
And so I'm always making sure that the families that we work for understand that we're working for the family. It's not just the parents. And I always encourage them to bring their kids in.
Yeah.
And I have to be careful about privacy, of course, but I want to make sure that their kids are invited. In fact, we go so far as letting them know that we will create planning for the kids as well. The reason for that I find that the better off their kids are, the better lifestyle they're going to have, the parents are going to have. But also, when you take the kids through a planning process, they understand now better what's going on with their parents. And so it's a really good experience for them.
I think it's so important for the kids to be involved. We lost my dad really suddenly, and he was the money man. And, my mom was in the know. She's very, very smart, very educated, but he really kind of steered the ship. And so you better believe I've been in every single meeting with her when she's, trying to get a grasp and take over and figure out what she has to do. I've been right there beside her because, too, we need to know what's going on. Should something, God forbid, happen to her, we need to know what's going on. So I think it's so important to be part. And then on the inverse, we lost my husband's dad and there were no conversations. And we're in a real mess there where we could have totally benefited from sitting down, having these conversations. So kind of seeing both sides. And I'm like, we have the opportunity to be prepared and plan and take the right road on this side. We need to be involved as much as we possibly can. But a lot of parents do. It's the privacy thing that you were talking about. A lot of parents get kind of weird bringing in the kids, but I think it's so important. You got to kind of drop that sheet and allow the transparency to come through when you're getting close to retirement and these conversations start happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. And hey, how great is that for your mom to have you?
She's so lucky.
You've got a lot of know-how, right?
No, I mean, I was like, hey, what time's the appointment? I'll be there. I'll be there early with bells on. But it honestly made her a lot more comfortable, I think, to have me there and my brother involved as well, because it's a lot to take on. It's a lot for her to get a hold of and get a grasp on. And you're sitting across from perfect strangers who, you're talking about your life savings with. And it can be daunting and it can be intimidating. So I think for a lot of people, having the family there can kind of ease the intimidation factor as well. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's really good. And I get it. And I see that as well. You're right. In the beginning, it's the privacy factor. But as we get going and we start talking about things, I don't have to get too in detail about everything. I just have to give the kids a fundamental understanding of what's going on. And they want to know that everything's going to be okay. And so, with that, Casey, I really want to encourage our listeners. I want to encourage you all to come in and have a discussion and, bring the family, bring the kids. We're so happy to have everybody come in and participate in that discussion. We'll walk through your situation. If you want the kids there, they have the opportunity to ask questions. And we're actually going to provide you with your own individual comprehensive financial planning assessment. We're going to take into consideration and discuss taxes, rates of return, risk factors in your portfolio. We're going to include that portfolio x-ray on this one. So give our team a call, and they're standing by. They're standing by right now, and they're going to find a good time for you to come in.
That is going to do it for us this week here on Mason Street Retirement Insights. As always, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back next week, same time, same place, with more great insight from Sean Mason, president of Mason Street Wealth Management. Take care.
Mason Street Wealth Management, MSWM, is a registered investment advisor, and the opinions expressed by MSWM on this show are their own and do not reflect the opinions of Motivate Investments. Registration is not an endorsement by securities regulators. Investment advisory services are offered through Motivate Investments, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. All statements and opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, although it should not be relied upon as such. Any statements or opinions are subject to change without notice. The information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Information expressed does not take into account your specific situation or objectives and is not intended as recommendations appropriate for any individual. Listeners are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through Sean A. Mason, California, insurance license number 0B54860. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Motivate Investments. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. MSWM is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if MSWM is licensed in your state, please call 559-892-0002.